What's up? So in this video, I'm going to go over how to use your profile, your Craftsman Painter profile, as well as your landing page in real life situations. These tools are designed as kind of your hand-to-hand combat, real world networking, finding customers, prospecting, any sales, being, using it as a sales tool anytime you are face to face with a customer and you need to be able to convey your message more clearly, that's what this tool is designed for. Now, does that mean that people aren't going to find it on their own when they're browsing? Sure, but we don't want to wait for them to do that, right? We want to be a little bit more proactive. And that's why these tools are designed specifically for that. So I'm going to go over using it in the field when all you have is your phone, and then I'm going to go through it again using the tablet. So hopefully the video is clear enough to see all of this stuff, and as you're kind of out there working at it, you'll be able to find opportunities where this makes a difference. So the first thing that I think matters is to know that, okay, what's the situation where I'm going to be finding myself actually using these things, right? That's a great question. Well, let me go back and tell a story about a time where I used mine at a time where it wasn't at all convenient, but it made a lot of sense in retrospect. So several years ago, I was walking around at a home show in another city. I was kind of scoping out the home show, seeing how it was. I didn't have a booth, but as I was walking around, I ran into somebody that I knew who had a house, and he said to Orlando, I've been meaning to get a hold of you because I really need an estimate. Now, like I said, I was just participating at this home show. I didn't have a booth. I wasn't ready at all. In fact, I recall buying this big bag of cheesy popcorn, and I was like loving it because it was gourmet and it was so good. And so I had cheese fingers and everything. I wasn't ready at all. I didn't have business cards. I didn't have anything. And here he was like, I want your business. And so what I did is I pulled my phone out, pulled up my profile, which has my booking calendar on it. I handed him the calendar and I said, book a time. And he took my phone, found a time on the calendar, hit send, and that triggered all this stuff in the background where my sales rep got a notification. She went out and bid the job. We ended up booking it, and or one of the projects that he had, we ended up booking, and the crew did it. I think in total, I spent about 30 seconds in that conversation with him, and then I went and visited that job site once to get some pictures, and that was the interaction. I made money, the customer's happy, we were all happy, right? So this real world activity, this real world having tools, having assets in your hand that generate and drive business and make things easy for you is it's a real blessing and a benefit, and I've really tried hard to make it useful to you. So things have evolved, right? Couple cool things. One, it's that action of, okay, I need to get this profile into their hands. How can I do that? Well, the first thing is that you can order one of these wristbands, and this right here, it does a tap, right? That's one thing. You can also on your profile, there's a little button in the upper right hand corner that opens up the QR code. And so this page right here, you can say, hey, scan this on your phone and it'll show up. And I can show you how the tap works too. So basically what happens is I put my tap right here, and then that pops up. They tap on that, and then what gets loaded is, of course, your profile. So my internet must be a little bit slow, but here it is. Okay, so that's mine, and you of course have yours. Now, what I want them to do, the first thing that I want them to actually do is I want them to add me to their contacts. So when they pull it up, I'll actually tell them, okay, do me a favor and click that little add to contacts button right there. So they click that, and that will pop up Trying to get the glare right. Apologize. So that will pop up the contacts. And this works for both Android devices and Apple devices. I happen to have an iPhone. So then what I'll say is I'll scroll them down to the part where it's add contact, right? It says create new contact or add to existing. You click that create new contact and it'll come up with a kind of the edited field. Okay, trying to get the lighting right here. That edited field. There we go. That's better. And then you just click done and it's added to your contacts. Why do I want them to add me to their contacts? Well, once I'm in their contacts, I'm gold, right? I'm their guy. They can reach me. People don't get rid of their contacts, right? Like people just they pile them in. Whereas if I give them business card, they're likely to throw it away at some point. Now, do I still want to give them the business card? Of course I do. But you can use this card, and I'll tell you, when you give it to them, they love it because it feels good and it's kind of unique and it's simple. And then on the back, it has the QR code. So either way, we just want them to pull that up on their phone so that they can add you to the contacts. And then what you want to do is you want to get them to either text you something, or maybe you do the reverse and you say, hey, text me what's your phone number? I'll send you my link. That's another way that you can do it. But you basically want to try to get them to text you something. Hey, add me to your contacts real quick. Shoot me a quick text message so we have each other's contacts, and then we can connect. We can get something going, right? You want to get their contact information. You want them to get theirs. What you'll also do is you'll also explain to them some of the benefits of the app itself, right? So you say, hey, if you're ever looking for, if it's just you're just looking for a ballpark and you want to, you have a spare room that you want painted and you just want to see how much it is, just send me some pictures of your project. It's through text message. Just send me some pictures or some video. And I can usually get you a price pretty quickly that way. That works really well with realtors because a lot of times the realtors are they're on the go, they're busy, they have a lot of work that they need to do, and then they can also book a meeting. Along the bottom, they have text, email, call. There's the feed that goes directly to your Instagram, and then of course a bio about you. Okay, so this tool is really great for impressing people with that first, because this pops up, you look professional, it has all the information that they need to get a hold of you, and you're all good. Now, the button at the top is where it says Craftsman Painter Collective, this one right here. If you click that, it will actually pull up your landing page specific to your city and zip code, okay? And this is a nice little splash. It usually has a picture of either the work that you guys perform, or maybe a picture of your crew, like in the case of Bloomington. And then along the bottom, it has pricing, your portfolio, call, text, schedule. Okay, that's what it is. Let's think about this from a psychological perspective. When people are interested in having work done, what's the first thing that they care about before they call, before they do anything? Well, there's two things that they care about. They care about the reviews and they care about the price, right? And so the way that the pricing page works, when you click on this, it gives some basic ranges, okay? And this is designed mostly for mobile. And so what it does, like I said, it gives you some ranges of the high and the low of how much painting actually costs. I'm trying to get it into focus here, okay? Let's see, there we go. Got it into focus there. So it gives you some high and some lows, right? What we typically will say is that, our average project is going to be between $3,000 and $7,500. That's broken up into phases, so it's typically not the whole house, and that's what most of our customers end up doing. They break it into phases. But if you wanted to paint the whole house, we're looking at $9,000 to $9,000 to $2,100 or $21,000 rather. It could be more than that, right? So we want to anchor them and let them know what kind of ballpark we're in, because if they think that if they think that a painting project is in the low thousands, like under $100 or under $2,000, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. We know that it costs more than that. They know that it costs more than that. They need to know that it costs more than that. So we got to anchor it. We got to tell them what ballpark in. Somebody told me a long time ago, if you think in hundreds, you'll deal in hundreds. If you think in thousands, you'll deal in thousands. And I would say that if you think in thousands, you're going to deal in thousands. If you think in tens of thousands, you're going to deal in tens of thousands. And so, that's this kind of a mindset thing. The main thing here is that we just want to make sure that people have an idea of the range, right? We want to make sure that the people who think that it's going to be less than 1,000 or less than 2,000 or 3,000, that they look at this and they think, I'm not ready yet. I need to save my money and call later. I don't want to waste their time if I don't have money in the bank. But for the people who have big projects, they need to be realistic. And so giving them the price anchors in that way helps out a bit. Okay, so going back to this, all right. So we've got our, let's get the zoom action right. Let's see if it will zoom right. It's trying to zoom on me. Don't zoom on me. Don't zoom on me. Zoom on this. Okay, so the main page here, man, I can't get the zoom right. Let's see if we can. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. All right, so the header there has, that we're Craftsman Painters. We're part of this collective, what we do, where we are, and then it goes immediately to the reviews. Now, the first thing that you're going to see is you're going to see that your come on now, get in focus, pull me back. All right, so what you're going to see is that it's going to have you proudly serving the area. Come on, there we go. It's going to have you proudly serving the area. It's going to have your phone number, and it's going to have your, it's going to go back to your profile. But then we have the reviews, okay? If you click the little X, it'll delete, okay? So then we have the reviews. And so when we're talking to the customer, what we want to do is we want to say, hey, let me back it up. What we're going to say is, hey, we're my company. We're proud members of the Craftsman Painter Collective. In fact, we're the only members serving this area. That distinction is limited to one painting company per zip code, and so we're the only ones serving this area. And that makes us unique because we had to beat out the competition in order to be selected. And the reason that we were selected is because of the quality of our work and the quality of the customer service that we offer. So that makes us distinct among our competitors. And we have great reviews to prove our worth here. So you could say this customer, for example, said that they strongly recommended us, that we had great attention to detail. Let's see what there we go. Strong communication. Come on, get the zoom right. It doesn't want to flip. So it'll say, this one says excellent communication, fast and impeccable work, very reasonably priced, right? 5-star review. And I actually go through these reviews with them and I show them the work that is in there. And I mention these are not stock photos. These are actually the photos of the work that we perform. So for example, this person said that we did a great job of explaining clearly the different types of wall prep and paint finishes. So when we work together, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through the different levels of prep that we offer, because some levels of prep are higher than others, and you want to know what you're getting, but also, you might have your preferences. You might want a higher end finish. You might also, not be too choosy with your finish. And so we'll tailor it to your desires so that we can find a budget that works for you. If you want to spend a little bit more and have us take more time and get it perfect, we can do that. If you need a paint job that's a little bit more focused on the economics, we'll just lower the prep. We'll still have straight lines, but we can reduce the prep level, and that's one of the benefits to working with us. You show, here's some cabinets that we produce, really beautiful work. Here's a picture of us working, and we're covering up the floors. And in fact, that's this is our worker Miles, and he is commented on in this review. They said that Miles' dedicated attitude and attention to detail is great. Worked on a tight schedule. Listen to requests, definite 5 stars. Right? People want to know who is going to be in their house. They want to know who's going to be there day in, day out. Who's going to be in charge? How are they going to operate? What are they going to do? And then I just go through it, and you got to pick up on cues, because sometimes people need more detail, we need more information. Sometimes they're like, hey, let's pick up the pace, let's get going through this. So you share it with them, and if they're kind of like that kind of person, that like low detail, I don't need to know all the nuances of it, you just show them the pictures and say, we got beautiful pictures, beautiful online gallery. In fact, the rest of our reviews are right here. So I'll of course send this to you. I'll text message you this link so that you can see it and read our reviews. Then comes the offer. Okay. And you can say to them, now, I just want to be straight up with you that, we, our services do tend to be in high in demand, just because of the level of quality and customer service that we offer. We do have limited availability on our schedule. We'll have that conversation, and if the timing doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I get it. It's not much we can do about that. However, you might find that we're worth the wait. Part of the reason is because we offer free color consultation with a certified interior designer when you schedule painting services with us. Typically it costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars to work with a designer, but we make that service available to you when you work with us. We'll also, when we get started here, we'll do an in-home estimate with you. If for convenience reasons you would rather just send pictures, you can do that at any time. All you have to do is just send me a text message with those pictures, but in-home estimates are always helpful and more accurate. And once we have got a scope and a price that looks good, we'll schedule a time with our designer to help select colors, and then you book the crew. And when the crew comes, they're going to do a phenomenal job, and they're going to follow that work order and do the job exactly how you want it to be done. Okay. And then scrolling down, we've got our association with the Painting Contractors Association. So you can say, now I just wanted to just in terms of that quality of service and the quality of craftsmanship, we are members of the Painting Contractors Association, which is our trade association. It's been around since 1884. And it's dedicated to elevating the level of craftsmanship and service that we offer as painting contractors. They offer a mountain of training and resources. And between being members of the Painting Contractors Association and the Craftsman Painter Collective, you can rest assured that we're held to a pretty high standard of service here. And then next is the frequently asked questions here. And so you can, at this point, you can say, this is a time where I typically pause for questions if you have any. There are a few frequently asked questions here that you can peruse if any of those are things that that have been on your mind. Like what type of paints are we choosing, payment methods, that kind of thing. But yeah, just take that time to pause for questions and ask if they need any what concerns they have, right? That kind of thing. And if they're like everything's good, then you want to figure out what the next steps are, right? And we always want to try to book an appointment for our next step. Next steps are always book an appointment or collect the payment. Now, let's say that you have a tablet, right? So how does that change things? Well, it's not fundamentally different. It's just bigger. And so, the way that we're going to do this is we might actually be in the home sharing this with them, right? And you say to the effect of, um, so what I might say is, look, when we work together here, and when you're on our project waiting list, I'll maintain that relationship with you while you're on our wait list. And so, this is my digital business card. It's my profile. Do add me to your contacts so that we can text message or call whenever you need to. Try to get the glare out of here, and then you'll go right to your landing page, right? Which is the same thing, it's just bigger, right? And so you go through it in kind of the same way. You go over those reviews and the pictures. It's nicer on the tablet because the pictures are bigger. Of course, you can't see anything because this glare is out of control, but we just go through it, right? We show the pictures, show the reviews, highlight the key points, keep going. Here we have our offer. Okay. The offer is really important. The offer plays plays a big role in influence. And so the limited availability expresses the scarcity, right? Because your services are scarce. You only have so many crew members. You can't paint the whole city. And so, expressing that we have limited availability elevates the level of value that you're offering. Being able to offer the free consultation that hits on the law of reciprocity. And so, they're getting something in return for our service. They're gonna feel obligated to give us business if we're giving them this free exclusive color consultation that they would have to pay hundreds of dollars for. Um, we express authority because one of the scariest parts about painting is, what if you get the color wrong? And so by using an interior designer, you have express authority. And then kind of demystifying the process by showing a plan here. We're going to schedule the estimate. We're going to select colors with the designers, and you're going to book your painters. Same thing here. I'm going to scroll down and say, we're going to, I might lay out that plan. So here we are at the estimate. I'm going to get you a price together. And once we go over that proposal, and I like to do it via video when everybody's available, once we move forward, we'll set up a time with you, the designer, to select the colors. And from there, we'll schedule the Craftsman Painters. Okay, we'll schedule your painters. And I want to assure you that the quality is going to be high because we are, not only are we members of the Craftsman Painter Collective, but we're also members of the Painting Contractors Association. And this is an association that's been around since 1884. And so between the two organizations that we're a part of, where we're members, we're held to a pretty high standard of excellence. And if you have any questions, here's some frequently asked questions that I can go over if you see any that you want me to talk more about. But what questions do you have? What do you need to, what information do you need of me to feel comfortable with moving towards the next step? Again, we always want to get them moving towards the next step. We want them to say tiny yeses to the next step, so that when we're ready to pull the trigger on scheduling the job, they're willing to do it. Okay, so that's how I would use it. The reason that it's designed this way is because the principles of influence, which are social proof, authority, urgency, or rather scarcity, and the law of reciprocity and commitment, they're all there. Okay, all the principles of influence are there, and when you're going through that with the customer, those are the things that are going to move the needle. And the social proof is really the biggest one. And that's why we lead with those reviews, right? They can see the work, they can see who's doing the work in their house, and they can attest that other people have had good experiences, then they're just more likely to trust you. So that's how I would use that. I hope that's helpful. I recognize that I couldn't quite get the blurriness to work out in my favor the whole time, but hopefully that was helpful. And good luck using this tool. They're great tools to use, and your membership in the Craftsman Painter Collective, it does mean something. Remember that you were selected because of your commitment to the quality of the work and the customer experience. And so, maintain that oath. Keep leveling up. Don't stop until you're proud, and serve these customers well, because they deserve it, and you deserve to have a great business. And that's the way that you have a great business, is by serving everybody well. Thank you, and I hope this was helpful.